Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the RacePlazaMedia podcast. My name is Milan.
My name is Pia.
And we are finally back. We were off for 2 weeks because someone decided to leave the country.
Ooh.
And bring me back this.
And also this.
For anyone listening, I have a vaguely... This is supposed to be Lewis Hamilton as a bobblehead.
Yes.
However, no team markings on there.
No.
And I believe your Marc Marquez looks more like Marc Marquez
Yes.
than my bobblehead looks like Lewis. But I love it either way.
Yes. I mean, these are courtesy of our cousin's husband. We got those in northern Italy.
Yeah.
So thank you for those.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, now we're back. And I enjoyed my trip, obviously, but I'm also a little bit upset that I missed two big race weekends because both times we had Formula One and MotoGP, and we also had the finale of the World WCR. So lots of racing happened while I was gone. I was trying to keep up to date with it. I couldn't watch it. That I was trying to just stay up to date with the news. And of course, we talked a little bit. But nonetheless, we are back to regular programming now. I was also a little bit under weather when I came back, so that's why the What to Watch didn't come out. I apologize, but we will be back as usual now.
Yes, and also in your defense, last weekend wasn't a lot in racing, or this weekend,
Yeah,
right?
it was
wasn't really a lot.
Yeah, it was like 25-ish racing events in total. None of the major ones outside of NASCAR. NASCAR had its grand finale this weekend. So there was, of course, that for the NASCAR fans. But outside of that, it was not the top
Or the
leagues.
stuff that we usually watch.
There was no Formula One. There was no MotoGP. There was a GT4 or GT World Challenge Australia. There's some other smaller racing leagues that were competing. So there's racing nonetheless, but nothing of the major sort. But nonetheless, we'll be back this week with regular programming.
Yeah.
I will stay in town for the foreseeable future so I can
Yeah,
be
you're not
here
getting
to
another day
support.
off, girl. So that means then in this episode, we are going to talk about the World WCR finale.
Yes.
Because we did want to talk about it briefly because a lot did happen.
Yes. And I
And-
did end up watching it as soon as I came back
Because we talked about it and
Yes.
I highly recommended
Yeah.
it to you because things happened.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about a bunch of different new stuff. And that would be the episode for today.
Yes.
So going into the World WCR, we had, of course, Beatriz Nela and Maria Herrera battling it out for the championship.
Yes.
Going into the race, it was, I don't know exactly, but it was, I think, like 5 points between the two of them going into race one.
Yeah, it was really close. I don't remember the exact points either. But then it was also kind of last round. It's between two riders, really. And it kind of reminded me of last year's finale. Going into the last round. Last year, we had Maria Herrera versus Ana Carrasco. Also two Spanish riders. Both of them were potentially up for the win. However, last year, Maria Herrera became a casualty during...
Of Sarah Sanchez's
Exactly,
mistake.
of Sarah Sanchez. So that hurt her and took away her overall championship.
In
So
race one.
exactly. So that was like, oh, is something like this going to happen again? It's really either rider's opportunity going into this weekend. Because, I mean, Maria Herrera has been excellent last year, this year. I mean, she's just...
A force to be reckoned with.
Yes. I mean, it's gorgeous watching her racing. Then Beatriz Nela, she was good last season because she was always in the top as well, like in the top 5 typically.
Yeah.
But this year, she just made this huge step forward
absolutely.
that she was battling with Maria, and she was a force to be reckoned with. That's why she was in the top with her.
Yeah. And it is kind of beautiful that it is like a championship battled out between two Spanish riders, and the final race is in Spain, right?
Yes.
It was a Spanish round. And then so going into the race, I was like, okay, this is going to be very interesting. But we did also have this weekend a wild card joining.
Yes.
Or that race weekend. And her name is Paola Ramos. She is this
Wow.
18-year-old rider who actually, I think she started racing when she was like 10 or 11. And then she had to take off for 4 years due to financial reasons. Because like racing even if it's only quote unquote on two wheels, it is a very expensive thing. Just even karting is so expensive to even just to go for a weekend.
Truly, yeah.
And so she finally was able to get, I think, some sponsorship again, and so she started racing again. And then this time around, she joined the World WCR. As a wild card, and what a performance. This woman,
breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Yes. I will say, of course, it will be interesting. I'm hoping, of course, for one, that she will return next year as a full-time rider.
I definitely think she's proven herself that she has what it takes to be part of it, but now it's just a matter of if she gets a seat on a team, which I truly do hope so, because her races, both of the races were incredible.
Yeah.
She comes in as a wild card and she's competing for the podium.
Yes.
How incredible. There's lots of riders on the grid, 20 plus riders on the grid. We typically have the same-ish group competing for the podium. We had some newer faces this year.
Yep.
We had
with Chloe Jones,
Lucy Boudicelle, and so we had some newer people in there this year. Also some non-Spaniards coming in this year, which was really exciting. And we had some really excellent races this year. But then for her, as an 18-year-old, to come in first race weekend in the World WCR on this big international stage. Yes, of course, you're racing at home, which is maybe gives you a little bit of extra
probably a track that
exactly
very well.
But absolutely incredible. Like the battling she did on the track with both Beatrice as well as Maria. Everybody who was battling in the front, also Chloe Jones, was impressive.
It was very impressive. However, this also leads to probably once again a very heartbreaking thing to happen in race one.
Yes.
That involved Paola Ramos and Beatrice Naylor. So Beatrice Naylor and her were battling kind of. I think there was like the top five. They were kind of going back and forth.
Yes.
And anyone who has seen a WCR race knows that these ladies are going like 4 or 5 wide in some corners, right? They take no prisoners. So towards, I think it was the last lap of the race, Beatrice Naylor in the lead.
Yeah.
Not by a lot.
No.
And it is a right-hand corner. And Paola Ramos is just a little bit over ambitious. She's on the inside of Beatrice Naylor, and they make contact. Both of them stay on the bike, but Beatrice Naylor has to take avoiding action, has to go off track, and she drops back. And she doesn't drop back like 20,000 positions or anything like that, but she drops back enough for Maria to take advantage of that. She takes off, and Paola was able to recover actually from the contact, and Paola actually ended up winning the race.
Yeah.
However, she ended up getting a penalty for cutting.
Yes.
And
not for touching, but for cutting.
Not for touching, but for cutting the track. And it is just...
Sorry, it sounded weird. Not for touching.
Yes. No, not for the contact.
Contact, yes.
However, it is just so heartbreaking because Beatrice Naylor ends up coming fourth due to Paola getting the penalty. She is promoted to third place, but that means that going into race 2, Beatrice Naylor is down 15 points to Maria Herrera.
Yeah.
And that means that Maria Herrera had to finish so far down the list that Maria Herrera has never finished, besides that one race that she was crashed out last year, where she was, a casualty of someone else's mistakes. And it is so heartbreaking to see the same thing happen to Beatrice. And then the one thing happened that I think a lot of fans of the World WCR and is seeing Beatrice Naylor cry. Was heartbreaking because anyone who knows, and if you are not aware, Beatrice Naylor is essentially sunshine.
Yes, like that's such a great description. She is sunshine.
She is
sunshine.
She's
just pure joy. She's so charming. In her post-race interview, she always kisses
and she has the biggest smile. And
so
she's
sweet.
She's like the epitome of positivity.
Yes,
and to see her cry, that really hurt. And I'm actually not even criticizing Paola Ramos because I get it. You don't owe anything to anyone, right? You're going out there and you're doing your race, and it's not like, those two are racing for a championship, so I'm gonna let them do their thing. It's like, no, you're gonna leave your mark, and that's fine. And this is something that could have happened to anyone, and this is something that happened to Maria last year, where someone crashed out and ended up taking her out at the same time, and that cost her the championship.
I mean, it's racing,
It
essentially.
is racing, but it hurt a lot to see because going into race 2, Beatrice knew that the chances of her winning this championship now will be
Minimal.
slim to none, because
Yeah.
Maria didn't have to win. She didn't even have to make it onto the podium.
Yeah.
And little spoiler alert, she didn't make it onto the podium in race 2 because she didn't need to. She just needed to stay, what is it, like top maybe 9 or something?
No, I think like it was like, I think, well, it depends on where Beatrice ended up, but I think
Beatrice would have to outscore her by 16 points.
yes. So I mean, it's a lot, and it's just so heartbreaking because Beatrice Nela also reprimanded Paula on
Yeah, you could
in the
tell that she was
outlap.
not happy.
Of course. And I'm sure Paula didn't do it intentionally. It was also her first race. She would have won the first race, but then, of course, the win was taken away from her because of cutting then, essentially. But it was just so heartbreaking. And then going into the second race, of course, there's a lot of pressure on Beatrice. There's a chance, but Maria would really have to make a mistake, a major mistake, or crash out, which is not something she does.
Yeah.
So it ended up the second race, Paola came back with a redemption. She ended up winning the second race. Beatrice Nela came in second, and then Lucy Boudicelle came in third, the French rider. And it was just so heartbreaking. She ended up losing, or Beatrice Nela ended up losing the championship by 5 points.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maria Herrera, she ended up sixth. So because she was not stressed. And Beatrice also played a smart race because Paola Ramos went away.
Yeah.
She had an excellent start, and she just...
And she won with a gap.
Yeah, so she went away in the
She
front.
won with almost 10-second gap.
Yes, but then Beatrice Nela was smart because she could have a higher pace, but she kept the pace lower so the pack would stay closer together.
She was backing up the whole field.
Exactly. So then we had a solid group of like 6 riders constantly battling each other, which of course is a higher risk for everybody, including Maria Herrera. And then there's a higher chance for her to maybe back up Maria Herrera enough for her to become a casualty of something of some sort, or for her to back her up enough to earn enough points of a gap or point gap for her to win the championship.
So I think Beatrice Nela would have had to come 12th for
Maria Herrera.
Sorry, yeah. Maria Herrera would have had to come 12th. No, I think even further back.
No, I don't think so.
No, because I'm looking at the points, and if you for a third place you get 16 points, right? And for sixth place you get 10 points.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she had to back a lot further back. Interestingly enough, the same or strategy that Beatrice Nela did in this race too is also what Maria Herrera did last year, to try to back up the field, to maybe throw off Ana Carrasco, which I love what a strategic idea it is, because what is it? Let me look at it. So Beatrice Nela ended up coming second, and she was a 10th ahead of Lucy Boudicelle, who came in second, and then third. Sorry, and then there was a 10th between the fourth place. There was 2 tenths between, so it was just such a little margin.
Because the pack stayed together, and they were constantly moving and shuffling
around. Of course,
around.
yeah, because you're backing it up, right?
And of course, Maria also had the advantage that her teammate Roberta Ponciani was in that pack too, so she could maybe work with her a little bit. However, Roberta Ponciani was also battling for the third place in the overall championship versus Chloe Jones. So there was that battle also keeping in mind. So there was a lot up for grabs. It was still a really fun race just because there was such a big pack that was close together.
Yeah.
So they did go 4 wide into a turn, and it was constantly shuffling back and forth. Who's now fighting for second and vice versa. I mean, it was another excellent race weekend, and I'm so excited for next year already. I think it's going to be another great season. I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope we have Paola joining the pack next year.
Absolutely.
And they already announced the calendar. They have another 6 rounds for next year, starting end of March. So we have several months off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, we have a race in March, April, May, June, July, and then a little bit of break until the final round in October.
Because this time we had a lot of bigger breaks there in between. But again, big congratulations to Maria Herrera for a fantastic season, a well-deserved championship.
And I'm also happy for her because
she deserves it.
And also, it would have been heartbreaking if she would have lost it again. I mean, of course, if it would have been just pure racing, then it's better than something happening.
In a perfect world, Beatrice would have come first and Maria would have come second, and then it would have been down to the last race and like battling it out.
Exactly.
But such is life. However, I think also this year we saw a lot of like peaks from different riders, and it's also good to see that we have riders that are not Spanish doing really, really well in the series. We have Chloe Jones really coming into it after
Donington Park.
Exactly, really. And Donington Park was second race,
But she came as like such a surprise onto the scene. I mean, she's been around, obviously. But it was just so fun to see.
Absolutely.
And then I feel like that race kind of gave her a little bit more maybe confidence too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so fun. Then also, of course, Lucy Budesel, to have her up there. So it makes me really excited for next year. I'm also curious to find out, will Maria Herrera return? Or is she just moving up to Superbike, just how, or Supersport, just the way Ana Carrasco did?
Yeah.
The same thing with Beatrice Nela or some of the other riders who've been in there now for 2 seasons. Are they coming back?
I thought that Maria, in her post-race interview, it sounded like she was planning on coming back.
I don't remember.
But
or nothing is confirmed, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think anything is confirmed yet. I want to point out also, I thought the one that I was a little bit disappointed in this year's season was Roberta Ponziani. I did look at it. She did actually score more points this year. And she finished higher in the championship. But I thought overall I wanted a little bit more from her.
Yeah.
She did really well in her home race. And then it was just, she actually never really, she wasn't as involved this year as she was last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly why, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that if she does come back next year, that she will be able to kind of pull it together. And then in the first race of this year, we had the Kiwi, Avalon Lewis, doing really, really strong. And she ended up finishing 8th overall in the championship. And not as strong as I was hoping she would be. But then again, this was also her first season. And, I also give credit to people like Avalon Lewis and Tyler Ralph, who are racing a European-centric championship. And they are not from Europe. So it's a lot harder for them to come and practice on these tracks, right? They have to travel much further from their homes and stuff like that. Whereas everyone else who is essentially in the top 10 besides Avalon Lewis and Tyler Ralph, they're all from Europe.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree. But it makes me so excited, especially since we caught this championship right at the beginning.
At the inaugural season,
I mean,
right?
we watched it last year for their very first season. Now we're a second season in. I'm very much looking forward to see how it continues to develop.
Absolutely.
And also how the riders will develop. New ones will be getting in, how they improve season to season, race to race. So I'm very much looking forward to next season.
Absolutely. I'm really, really excited about that. Did you have anything else to add?
Nope, that's all I had to say.
So then I think let's move on to